At Room to Room, did you know our specialty is custom ordered upholstery? Get the furniture you want and the fabric and color selection you want. With our free design service, we won't let you make a mistake.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
The sad reality is, fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kitchen now.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather This Morning.
Hey, good morning. Thanks, as always, for waking up with us on Mississippi Live Weather this Wednesday morning. Hope you have your cup of coffee and ready for the day with me yet again. Again, always thank you for tuning in and watching us every weekday morning. Let's talk about what you need to know to get you out the door this morning, because I'm tracking a few things as you're headed out on the roadways. One of those is patchy fog. We're dealing with some patchy fog across the area this morning. You're going to notice it as you're headed out on your local roadways. More rain also on the way for your day ahead, so make sure to have that umbrella in the car as you head out the door with us. And then temperatures also on the climb as we head over the next few days. That's a few things of what you need to know at the door this morning. Now let's talk about where exactly those things are happening. Take a look at Mississippi Live radar out the door this morning. As I said, some of us dealing with rain, more of us going to be dealing with it this afternoon. Let me zoom in and show you exactly who's dealing with the majority of that rainfall. Been tracking these few showers that are ever so trying to pop up. Places to our south, like Kosciuszko was dealing with this, or Attala County in East Macedonia. Now we're just seeing that very, very small shower sitting just west of Louisville in places like east of Calvary as well. So if you are headed along Rome Ford on 14 to Louisville, you are going to be dealing with maybe a spot downpour this morning. Overall, a lot of us dry. Again, I can track a few very small showers in places like Ottibbeha County. There were a few in places like Tate County this morning as well. So zooming in, kind of showing you those that you could be dealing with. The majority of us very dry. Again, these very, very small showers barely picking up on our radar site. However, let me show you the heaviest one that's happening right now. I've been watching this all morning long. I'm going to take it to show you more of an updated view. This is from the Memphis radar site that's picking this up a little bit better. Take a look at this. This is the heaviest rain we're tracking this morning, and it's not even necessarily within our area. It's in eastern Arkansas, from Stuttgart down to DeWitt, just east of Dumas right now. Why I'm showing you that, though, is because it is moving easterly and pouring into the Delta. It's pouring into places like Jonestown, south of Clarksdale, Duncan, Shelby, dealing with that. So if you are traveling along 278, headed into Clarksdale or down to Cleveland this morning, you are going to be dealing with some of those heavy downpours. I will say the good news with this, I've been tracking this since we started at 6:30. It was a lot heavier. The storm was a lot more prevalent then, a lot more lightning strikes with it. Those strikes have gone down. So what does that mean for us? It means that that heavy pocket has started to dissipate, started to fall apart a little bit. So again, that's the heaviest that I'm tracking over in the Delta. A lot of us starting off our day on a dry note. So that's some good news across the board. But that's a look at radar. Let's get into the visibility now. I'm tracking rain that might affect you out the door, and also your visibility issues with some patchy fog. Take a look at this. Now, this is getting better, and it will continue to get better as the sun does start to become more prevalent. This is going to dissipate, but it's still impacting us right now at 7:35. So some patchy fog limiting visibility from New Albany, Tupelo, all the way to Houston, Amory, some of us less than a mile still, Ottibbeha County, the Golden Triangle region dealing with that, all the way down into places like Aliceville, Alabama. So northeast Mississippi, good chunk of it dealing with that patchy fog on your local roadways. Want you to be careful as you're headed out the door this morning, but no, not everybody dealing with it. Take a look at this. This is over in Fulton, taking a look at those roadways on 22 there and 25, looking good to go. Not really dealing with the fog there. Temperatures in the middle 60s. And so not everybody dealing with that, but take a look at this camera over in Aberdeen. Well, yeah, they're dealing with it. Can barely even see out of there. So depending on where you are, you could see some patchy, dense fog or not. As live look in Tupelo, I love showing this camera. It was a beautiful sunrise out of that camera this morning. Let's talk about temperatures as you're headed out the door. We are already rising into the upper 60s for some of us in Lee County, 67, middle 60s over in Starkville, already in the 70s in Memphis. Region-wide, the majority of the South sitting in the 60s and near 70 this morning. Over your first 12 hours for your day ahead, you could expect temperatures to continue rising to the upper 60s over your next hour. We'll be back to 80 before noon, back in the middle to upper 80s this afternoon, throwing in a little bit better of a rain chance this afternoon as well. I know some of us dealing with some rain out the door this morning. The majority of us are going to stay dry until we head noon and on, but that early afternoon, early evening time, that's when we're going to start to see a few heavy pockets enter the mix for North Mississippi. So let me show you that. This is what I'm tracking for 5 o'clock this evening. You're going to want to check back in with Matt and Gabe. I'm sure they're going to be tracking in some of these heavy downpours through the region. You can see North Mississippi and across the southeast dealing with some sporadic activity this afternoon. Take a look at this. I want to show you the overall picture over your next few days before we really get into the meat and bones of the forecast, because this cold front's going to be coming in on your Thursday. As it does, it's going to try to squeeze out some rainfall. But you can see the majority of the area, I think, is going to actually stay very dry for Thursday. If you're closer to the Mississippi and Tennessee state line, that's the majority of the area that could see the best chance for a passing downpour or two. Now that swings through, and then we reload, revamp, and go at it again with another cold front coming into play on your Friday. Here's the thing for Friday. That cold front comes in on Thursday, and you might think, oh, it's going to be so nice for Friday night football games with that cold front coming in. Well, that's not the case, because we're watching this cold front come in, and as it does, our winds are yet again going to shift southerly, bringing in that moisture, bringing in that warm air, and it's actually going to be pretty warm on Friday. Warm out of the next 7 days. Friday is looking the warmest, so not necessarily that cool air for Friday night football games. Here's the good news. I'm keeping my eye on Friday, but it really looks dry for the most part. This cold front really doesn't look to enter the area until we head overnight into your Saturday. So that's some good news, at least for your Friday night football games at the least. But that's what we're tracking over our next few days. Coming up next, I'm going to be taking you hour by hour. When can you expect the rain to really enter the forecast today, and who's going to be seeing the best chances as well. I'll also have an updated look at your weekend forecast. Got any big weekend plans? Some of the weekend we could expect some rain, and some is looking very nice. I'll have what days and times you're going to want to get out this weekend, all coming up next on Mississippi Live.
Growing up, Gabe was naturally curious. When he began to discover weather, Gabe just didn't want to know what was happening, but he wanted to know why it was happening. Gabe became fascinated with tornadoes, and it impacted his life. He wanted to pursue a career in meteorology. Even though Gabe grew up in Alabama, Mississippi has now become his home and his family. And one thing about Gabe is he keeps his family safe.
When people are fed, futures are nourished. They can connect with the world around them, unlock endless possibilities, and thrive. Join the movement to end hunger. Volunteer, advocate, donate. Go to feedingamerica.org/act now.
Right now, from the Room to Room Weather Center, here's meteorologist Maggie McAuley.
Good morning. We're back live from the Room to Room Weather Center. I am meteorologist Maggie McCauley. Thanks, as always, for waking up with us this morning. I want to give you your latest and last look this morning at your forecast. Starting off with Mississippi Live radar. I showed you this over the last few minutes, so I'm not going to get into it too much this time. Overall, what you need to know is most of us are starting off very dry. A few showers down just south of Louisville along 25 this morning, and then some more prevalent shower activity actually pouring in from eastern Arkansas into places like the Delta, just south of Clarksdale and north of Cleveland along 278 and 61 this morning. Those are the two areas I'm mainly tracking rain out your door. The majority of the area is dry, but we are dealing with some patchy fog still this morning. Now, over the next hour, this is looking to dissipate, but if you're headed out in the next few minutes, you're still going to be dealing with that. I'm talking less than a mile of visibility from places like New Albany, Boonville, down into Amory, Columbus, Aliceville as well. So still dealing with patchy fog in northeast Mississippi. So I still wanted to give you your latest look at that. Here's some good news as I'm looking right now at these Blue Spring cameras, kind of giving you a little update with me. I've been watching these, and this is looking a lot better than our previous view. And if you watched us at 6:30, you know that. I was showing these, and at 7 too, I was looking at them, and they were pretty foggy out there. Here's some good news. I'm still looking at it, especially along 22 in Blue Springs. But here's the thing, looking better than it did. So that tells me this fog is lifting, but it's still out there. So just make sure to be careful as you're headed out on the roadways, especially in northeast Mississippi this morning. Overall temperatures in the 60s. Still tracking some patchy fog across the area over in Amory as well. So it's still out there, but it is getting better. Overall, that's in the roadways. Now let's talk about the airways. Airport delays look minimal to nothing this morning. So if you're hopping on a flight or you're watching us, planning to head back to the SIP today, you're good to go from Memphis over to Dallas, Shreveport, Jackson Airport, Gulfport, all looking good to go this morning. So you're good if you're heading in or out of the area. Over the next few hours, temperatures look to rise into the 70s, middle 70s by your 10, near 80 by 11. We are going to be sitting below average today, but another warmer day out there overall with temperatures near 90 degrees. Most of us going to be capped in the 80s today, 87 in Houston, 90 in Greenwood, 87 in Senatobia, 85 down in Louisville, 88 over in Amory. So temperatures mainly sitting in the 80s this afternoon. And again, could throw in a shower or two and make you a little bit cooler, because yesterday in northwest Mississippi, we got close to 90 degrees. However, in Tupelo, they stayed in the middle 80s because they saw that rainfall and that rain-cooled air in the afternoon. So again, these showers can really limit your afternoon heating if you do get under one, and consider yourself a little bit lucky out there than the rest of us. Let's get into that forecast, shall we? So let's go hour by hour. As we head noon and on, I think we're going to be good to go. Maybe a few showers try to creep into northwest Mississippi and the Delta. I think the majority of the area stays dry through noon, but not all day. Watch this. As we head 2, 3 o'clock, that's when we really start to see that activity pick up. That sticks around through dinner time. So I'm talking 4, 5, 6 o'clock, could see these heavier pockets pop up. You can see they're very small overall, but again, if you get under one of them, they could be heavy at times, dump a lot of rainfall in the area, and you're going to want to have your rain gear handy as well if you get stuck under one of those. Here's the good news: as we head overnight through Wednesday into Thursday, things look to dry out, and I think you're going to be good to go for your Thursday morning commute. Looking dry and good out there for Thursday. For the back half of the day, though, we have about a 10 to 20% chance, is what I say, of a spot shower or two due to that cold front that we talked about that's going to be coming in for your Thursday. I think the majority of rainfall is going to sit to our north. However, I can't rule out a spot shower somewhere across the area that tries to be squeezed out. I think the best chance for that on your Thursday is going to be Lee County to Lafayette County and north of that, seeing the best chance for a passing downpour or two into your Thursday. I think the majority of Thursday and the majority of everybody on Thursday look to sit very dry. Let's talk about your weekend ahead. If you got any plans, already looking through to the weekend in the middle of your work week like me, looking nice out there overall. Temperatures look to be in the middle 80s, even middle to low 80s on your Sunday. Here's the thing, we do have a rain chance out there for Saturday. A cold front's going to come in, like I told you, late Friday night into your Saturday, looking like a rainy start to Saturday. Again, some isolated to scattered showers and storms, and then starts to dry out and turn really nice for the back half of your weekend. You got any plans this weekend? I encourage you to get out on Sunday. It's going to see northerly wind into play. Drier air is going to come. It's finally going to be that nice air that filters in after a cold front, and it's just going to be overall a nice end to your weekend out there. Let's talk tropics before I let you go into the 7-day forecast as well. We are looking at this chance of development. I have been talking about this day in and day out with you, giving you the latest update with that. This chance is now turned into a high development. The National Hurricane Center putting about a 70% chance of that, which is a high chance over the next 7 days. So we're looking at this kind of disorganization that's happening off the African coastline. This is where we see storms start to develop before they kind of make their way out into the Atlantic. So we're watching it, and again, it's going to be moving into this little red region, moving into a pretty favorable environment as it does, and it's likely to form over the next 7 days, even seeing a 30% chance over the next 2 days. So we'll continue to monitor it. We'll continue to bring you the latest update with that. If it does start to get a little bit more organized, watching it day in and day out, because we are looking at the peak of hurricane season coming up in the next few weeks. So keeping our eye, as always, on the tropics and always letting you know what we're looking at. But that's a look right now. Let's look at your 7-day forecast. Temperatures today in the 80s. We're back in the 90s tomorrow. Friday, I have talked to y'all about Friday. I told you it's going to be warm out there, and that is still the case, okay? We're continuing to track high temperatures up and up and up for Friday. Last Friday, it was pretty nice out there. Nice for Friday night football games. Can't complain. Not really the same story this Friday. Now, it's going to be nice, and I'm not really tracking any rain for Friday. It's just not going to be cool out there, okay? Temperatures looking to be the warmest out of the next 7, above average in the middle 90s out there for your Friday. The good news is right now we're tracking rain overnight into your Saturday. So again, really looking dry for now. We're continuing to watch that for your Friday night football games. Temperatures on your Saturday in the middle 80s. Middle 80s for your Sunday as well, looking like a nice into your weekend and start to your work week. However, rain does return, or at least the chance for rain, as we head into Monday and your Tuesday. So let's look at your 7-day forecast. Let me give you one last look at Mississippi Live Radar before I let you go this morning. Just want to show you where the rain is on your roadways this morning if you're headed out. The majority of it's very dry. You can kind of see that. Let's talk about this first. That fuzzy green, that is not rain. I'm not tracking rain across the entirety of the area. You can see kind of the darker greens and those oranges. That's where the rain is. And then you can also see that down to the south. This fuzzy looking green is just what we call ground clutter. It's when the radar site is put a little bit further down and it's picking up things like trees and buildings and things of that sort. So don't think it's raining everywhere and I'm just making that up. We're not tracking rain across the area. Let me zoom in and show you where I am tracking a few showers. That is just sitting south and west of Louisville. Again, I told you if you're traveling along 25 to Louisville this morning, going to be dealing with some passing shower activity. Also still dealing with this over in the Delta. I'll continue to monitor this morning as well. Nothing looking severe, but this one has some lightning with it, some heavy downpours. If you're traveling along 278 from Cleveland to Clarksdale this morning, you're going to be dealing with some rain that's probably going to slow you down. So be careful out there if you're headed in that area. Overall, the majority of it is sitting very dry this morning. So that is some good news. As always, thank you so much for waking up with me this morning. I hope you have a great Wednesday out there. I will be back here at 6:30 a.m. on your Thursday, 7 and 7:30 to bring you the latest update. And then always tune in to Matt and Gabe tonight at 5, 6, and 10. Thank you for tuning in to Mississippi Live Weather.
March 24th, 2023 was a normal Friday. You know, we knew the weather was not good, but we needed to take shelter, and we didn't have shelter. My husband and almost 2-year-old daughter, Ethan and Riley, they did lose their lives in the storm. We're still recovering from it. We'll always be recovering from it. Matt LawPon cares about the community. He's not just there to collect a paycheck. I feel like Matt LawPon has proven himself trustworthy.
Your family deserves the most beautiful smile possible. At Tupelo Smiles, we use precision dentistry and advanced technology to make visiting the dentist an amazing experience. relationship-based comprehensive care. Come discover the difference at Tupelo Smiles.